As Pamela Greenberg writes in her introduction to this extraordinary new translation of the Psalms, these are poems written not to formulate religious doctrine, but to give voice to religious emotion. All emotion, from anguish to exaltation, loneliness to thanksgiving, yearning to rage. Where our hearts go, the Psalms sing with us. Hebrew poets wrote the Psalms, and their translator must be both a scholar of Hebrew and a poet herself, as is Pamela Greenberg. Her sensitivity to the nuances of the text and her commitment to creating a translation without obstacles, using inclusive language and rendering verses as questions rather than declarations, is a great gift to her readers. Her dedication is to the text, but also to those thirsty for the Psalms' voices. Greenberg explains, "The Psalms have touched people because they reflect the lived experience of religion, not neat theological doctrine. They inspire rather than instruct, and they give voice to the deepest levels of our emotions. We find within these verses the human search for God in all its mire and mud of complexity, a person yearning for revelation. The Psalms appeal to all people, regardless of religious commitments, because they strive to give voice to the human soul. Elusive and often unknowable, our souls and their passions inspire our lives and quest for religious meaning. Not under the discipline of particular theological doctrine, the Psalms are free to express the religiosity that gives rise to a wide range of religious commitments, giving them a universal relevance. People of all faiths partake of their invigorating, emotional music. Jewish life receives its flavor from the Psalms. We enter, celebrate, and exit our lives in psalms. Birth, death, holidays, and fast days, events of joy and sorrow are all expressed through chanting psalms. In Jewish tradition, when a child is being born, mothers and fathers recite psalms. My own mother was given general anesthesia against her will when giving birth to me, but my father spent the night pacing the floor in the hospital waiting room, trying to calm himself by chanting psalms. As a student in Jerusalem, I went to purchase matzah shmura, the special handmade matzah, and watched as a dozen bakers rapidly mixed the special flour with drops of water, rolled out the dough, and quickly placed it, very briefly, in the hot oven, all the while singing psalms. It seemed as though not their hands but their psalms were baking the beautiful, delicate matzah. At times of fear, the illness of a loved one, or despair over death, the Psalms are with us, not to offer oleaginous consolation, nor to replace our emotions with calming sentiments, but to amplify and even intensify our experience. Just as the Psalms sing us into birth, so do they accompany us at death. No deceased body is left alone before burial, but is washed and shrouded while psalms are constantly chanted. What is so remarkable is the ability of the psalms to elevate us to new levels of awareness. They express in words feelings that are at times inchoate, and they allow us to speak in a voice that might otherwise seem inappropriate for a religious person, rage at our enemies, frustration when they defeat us. Those who despise us are God's enemies, the psalmist tells us, Psalm 83, surely a reassuring thought for someone who may feel isolated and deeply fearful in the face of enmity, or who may feel guilty for feelings of anger or resentment. You are not alone, the psalmist explains, and those who despise you, who are an image of God, have become as enemies of God.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.